The sun is out. Of course, I want to be out and doing some photography. You might have seen my recent video with Peter Forsgard doing some street walk around London. But today I'm going to do something very, very different. I'm going to photograph some flowers. Yeah, I'm not a flower photographer, but you know, we've got some lovely cherry blossoms around, so I try to take this opportunity to have some memory with something rather special. And this is TTArtisan's famed bubble lens. So first of all, this bubble lens has been around for a little while. In fact, I actually have it for just about a year, and I haven't really taken the opportunity to utilize the special character this lens gives me. But I think today I may be able to do something rather special because of the flower, and I want to isolate them to get some really lovely vintage effects. And hopefully the TTArtisan bubble lens will give the effect that I'm looking for. So let's do this. So like I said, there are lots of lovely blossom around here, and really this is probably the tail end of the season now. There's some lovely pale pink blossoms around just about 2 weeks ago, so now we're coming to the darker pink color, but there are loads of white ones around still, so hopefully I will be able to do some shots. And earlier I thought that I saw some daisies on the ground, so I may be able to get some shots of that too. So yeah, I'm gonna hunt around to see whether I can isolate some springtime photos for you guys to see using just the bubble lens. This is going to be interesting. Let's do this. Oh yes. Look at the effect. That's so cool. Right. One thing about bubble lenses are, you know, the Bokeh has some very unique character. It's almost like, I wouldn't say onion ring, but it just got the really cool halo around the bubble ball. So yeah, it makes it look, yeah, bubble-like. That's why it's called bubble lens. Whether you like it or not is obviously very personal, but I think for today's purpose, this is going to be really, really cool. So here's a little daisies on the ground, and yeah, looking rather lonely. Woohoo! Yeah, oh gosh, this is good. Awesome. All I'm looking for now is isolations. I'm going to isolate a plant, a flower, a leaf, something, because once you isolate certain things, the rest of the stuff will become what I would say the side dishes of a lovely plate. So with the lovely character coming from the bubble lens, so that should add the little character that I'm looking for. So what I'm looking for now is this yellow flower right here, just right there, because it's in the middle. And if I go low down using 100mm, I should be able to isolate it. So let's give it a go. But the angle is rather high because the flower is pointing upward. So I might have to go a slightly higher angle to see if I can get the shot. Not quite what I wanted to see. Let's find something else. All right, I've got another opportunity here. What I notice is that once you stop down the lens, the bubble effect really diminishes. So like to make use of the bubble effect, you really need to open the aperture up all the way to 2.8 to do something. So bear in mind. Not what I'm looking for. It's still a little bit busy, the background. Doesn't quite showcase the bubble bokeh. Maybe I will try to go to the lakeside to see whether I can get some sun reflection on the water. There you will see a lot of bubble because of the specular highlight. Let's try that. So weird because I'm not really used to the direction of the aperture control. It's the opposite way. You have to turn it to the right, so anti-clockwise to open up and clockwise to close it down, which is usually the other way around if you operate a lot of the manual lenses I've used before, you know, either going to be Leica or even the older TTArtisan lenses, they're all the other direction. So it's a bit weird, I have to turn it completely the opposite. So while we're looking for another subject to photograph, let's talk a little bit about the lens itself. Well, like I said, this is a M42 mount SLR lens. So if you want to adapt to any modern mirrorless camera, you have to use an adapter. In my case, I use a rather thick M42 to Nikon Z on my Nikon ZF, which is perfectly fine. I can adapt to Leica, my Micro Four Thirds camera, my XM5 even without a problem. It's simple to use, and then for those camera has an IBIS, all you need to do is to set the focal length manually in the camera and adjust the IBIS string accordingly. So it's very, very simple to do, very easy to use. So in terms of operational wise, this is perfectly fine. And build quality, well, this is an old SLR lens, so to speak, inspired. It's not it's brand new from TTArtisan, but in terms of construction, it's really good. Full metal housing, just like any of the TTArtisan lenses before that. The front element is rather nice, little circular thing. The lens is actually very small. Let me just unscrew it out. The dust might get in. So you can see the size is actually really small. So it's not huge whatsoever. And yeah, it's really good. The focusing ring is very smooth. The aperture is very clicky. I like that. So overall, I think the build quality is just one of those typical TTArtisan old-fashioned manual lens quality. I see a heron here. Well, I have a 100mm lens, so I may be able to capture it without startling it. Maybe I should try it. Let's do that before he flies away. First of all, let me just test out exactly how far I am with him. Okay, so I'm going to go down one step at a time. Pretend that I'm not doing anything with him, because yeah, he might easily get scared. I get you, but I don't like that no fishing sign behind. Let's see if I can move it a little bit, get a slightly different composition. Still good, still good. Okay, so I did get a shot of the heron. I thought it was all right. I just didn't like the no fishing sign, you know, just not very nice. And but anyway, let's talk a little bit about image quality. Right, how could I say it? This is a more or less a vintage optical design, so you're not going to get the ultra clinical sharpness that you get from modern lenses. So when shooting a wide open 2.8, you're going to get all sorts of halo, low contrast, but to my surprise, there is actually quite a bit of detail in there, but because the contrast level is so low, it looks like the images are all washed out, so you know, a bit pale, not very colorful and things, but you can do something digitally in post, so it's not really a main problem. The bubble effect really shows at 2.8. As soon as it starts stopping the lens down, the bubble effect will just starting to go away. So that character that this lens is specifically designed for, it only works at 2.8. So any other aperture setting would simply not work. So if you want to use it for, you know, for the bubble effect, you basically have to shoot wide open all the time, and you can't really adjust to any other aperture setting, which is a little bit of a shame. You know, I thought that I could use it for, let's say, if it when I stop down, you know, just do some other depth of field, you know, if I need to have a group, for instance, or maybe 2 or 3 different subjects together, just slightly off center to each other, then you may be able to get them all in focus. But in this particular case, you really can't do that because you can't stop down the lens to get deeper depth of field. So if you have to use the bubble effects at 2.8 all the time, that's the limitation you're going to have to face. All right. Okay. Another characteristic I found about this particular lens is the lack of distortion, which is a good thing, and also fringing. Quite surprisingly, when I was pointing the lens to the sun, I rarely see any sort of chromatic aberrations, and even Leica is really kept to minimum, which is not surprising for a longer focal length, to be quite honest. And usually you see a bit more when you have an ultra wide aperture, for instance, anything like 1.4 or maybe wider, you're starting to see a lot of that. And also when you have a wider angle of view. So a tighter lens like this tends to be all right most of the time. So, you know, this is a very usable lens if you want to use it for just general photography, portrait photography, for instance. It's very, very usable. But like I said, you just have to watch out for the specific character setting that you may want to use this lens for. Because if you want to buy this simply for the bubble effect, like I already mentioned, You just have to keep it at 2.8 constant all the time. Right, finally found a spot for some specular highlight. There is some reflections on the water because now the sun is very high. Okay, I can see that run right there, down below. Some of the distance, maybe I can get to the other side of the bank to get some shots, and hopefully that will give me some lovely bubble bokeh reflection shot. Hello, doggy. Yeah. Huh. See, this would be a beautiful shot right here. Just want to show behind me here. See that that opening down there? The reflections is right up there. That's where the sun is. So if there's a portrait here with a backlit, maybe do a fill light, then you can really see the bubble bokeh behind. This would be a lovely shot. But I don't have any subject here today, and the ducks obviously do not listen to me, so I won't be able to do that shot. But I can do some just for you guys to see the effect. Just to deliberately out of focus the area so you can see the bubble bokeh. So this is it. This is a very short video I'm making today, just trying to showcase what the TTArtisan 100mm f2.8 bubble lens can do. I was originally hoping to do some more flowery shots, but yeah, well, they were limited. You can see from around me here, it's not many flowers. There are some blossoms, but you know, once you take 1 or 2 shots, it becomes quite repetitive. So I'm trying to look for something else where there's going to be even a single grass and animals, birds, ducks, pigeons. You know, I've tried them all, and yeah, I hope that you get general ideas about the bubble effect I'm talking about. And I do think it's a very interesting option for anyone who wants to do some something quite specific, something quite experimental. And I think it's going to be a fun lens to use. And because it's an M42, you can use it practically on any modern digital cameras today. And given the price, and I would say wholly recommend it. So if you want to check out the bubble lens from TTArtisan, I'm going to put the link in the description below, and you can go in there, you can order directly from them. I'm pretty sure they're probably on sale on Amazon as well. And the bubble lens is actually a fun lens, you know, and like I showed you already, it's a very small lens as well, so you just fit into your camera bag, and you can use it on any sort of portrait, you know, like maybe at the end of the portrait session, you just want to do some quirky for your clients, you know, just say, oh, I've got some really interesting lenses, see whether you like the photos or not. They may actually turn out to be quite liking it. And so overall, I just think that it's pretty impressive for something that I would say very old vintage design being resurrected for modern digital photography. So I'm really, really happy about that. So I hope you liked today's video as well. If you do like, give me a thumb as well. And if you haven't already subscribed, remember to subscribe my channel and stay tuned for all the other future contents I'll be making in the future. So until next time, I'll see you all very soon. Bye for now. Peace out.